Good to go? I'll call the meeting of the zoning board of, the zoning board of appeals of McHenry County to order now. We are hearing a petition for, forgive me if I say this wrong, Adolfo Mercado Esquivel and Leticia Juarez. Okay. This is PIN number 0101426003 and also 0101426006. The address is 2215 and 2205 State Line Road in Harvard, Illinois. It's a 9.64 acres on the south side of State Line Road, approximately 1/3 miles east of the intersection of Route 14 and Chemung Township. This is for a conditional use permit for a landscape business with outdoor storage. What? The application number? I don't need the application. Do I need the application number? Oh, the petition number is 2022035. There we go. Okay. Okay, so to start, I'm going to have our board introduce themselves and tell you which township they come from. We all come from different townships so that we show a very good representation of the county, or at least as well as we can with 7 people. Okay, so we'll start with Bob.
Bob Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Don Smolinski, Grafton Township.
Charlie Eldridge, Richmond Township.
I'm Vicki Gartner from Nunda Township.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Thomas Jers, proudly representing Coral Township.
And we're all proud of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think most of this has been explained to you, how we operate here, but I'll go over it quickly. What we'll do is we will hear what you want to do and why you want to do it, how you want to do it. And then the board will have an opportunity to ask you questions. And then the staff will be able to ask you questions if they have any further questions. And then the audience will have a chance to ask you questions. And following that, we will go ahead and discuss the petition. We will set some conditions for it that you'll have to follow in order for it to be passed. But that's not a guarantee that it will be passed. First of all, let me ask you, are you aware of the conditions that are suggested?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so,
Madam Vice Chair, before you enter into the actual proceedings, can I have you go over the information that's in the plastic sleeve there, the notifications?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
And also a review of the conditions would be good, just to make sure that everybody understands.
okay. You don't have copies of those?
They're here.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this petition has been reviewed and the following items have been received prior to today's scheduled hearing. The publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper dated June 6, 2023, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The affidavit of posting was signed and date posted was May 31st, 2023, and thereby meets the ordinance requirements. The affidavit of mailing was signed and date mail was June 2nd, 2023, and thereby meets the ordinance requirements. Survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all 3 match. The filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition. The McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received. For further information, please refer to NRI L23-024-4484. Okay. So, first of all, I'm going to swear everybody in. I would like everybody, whether you plan on speaking or not, to let me swear you in, because sometimes you'll change your mind as the hearing goes on. So if you would, please raise your right hands, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. Now, the petitioners. First of all, I'd like you to all introduce yourselves one by one and give your name and your address and your part in this petition. So we'll start on my left. Go ahead.
I'm Michael Caldwell. I'm president of Caldwell Engineering. Caldwell Engineering is a civil engineer company helping Avocados.
Okay.
Name's Luis Perez Silva, I'm staff engineer for Caldwell Engineering.
Okay.
Leticia Juarez, owner.
Adolfo Mercado, owner of property.
Okay. And you speak English, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. You understand English too,
Yeah.
right? Good. Just tell me to slow down, I have a kid's heart.
So I believe Louis here can help with translation if necessary.
Okay, good. Okay. Will the petitioners agree to waive reading of the petition, or would you like me to read the entire petition?
I'm fine waiving it. We've got it right here. We've read it.
Okay,
We have no objection.
okay, and it is entered into evidence, so.
Does that also include the standards for conditional uses, or do we need to read those as well?
We'll go through those after your testimony, okay? All right, so I am not sure if all of you are going to speak, but when you do speak, we are recording this. So I would like it if you could please say your name before you do talk, so that the person listening to this will be able to know who's talking and, you know, apply that. Yes.
Is it possible, do we need another microphone?
You can grab the one, okay, well, Anna will get it for you.
I just,
We have a lot of things in this county, we just don't have a lot of microphones, ever, for some reason. Oh, look, here's another one. No.
No, no stand.
There's another stand.
that's perfect. You know, it's,
And it's on.
yeah. So that would just leave it here.
Action.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to hear about a conditional use for a landscaping business, correct? Okay. Who's going to speak first?
Do you want us to speak then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mercado came to us.
Oh, your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Michael Caldwell.
Okay.
And Mr. Mercado came to us to request assistance with his conditional use for his landscaping business. We're requesting a conditional use for a storage facility, an outdoor storage facility, as well as the landscaping business. I don't believe that we need a conditional use for that. I believe it's just for the storage facility.
No, for the landscaping business itself.
Okay, so we're requesting a landscape, conditional use for the landscaping facility, which includes an outdoor storage facility and salt storage on the property.
Okay. And what's your part in this? You're just designing it?
We're the civil engineers that are designing that will be doing the grading and drainage plans, and we've submitted the conditional use application for Mr. Mercado.
Okay. Would the Mercados like to speak to their business as far as what you do and how you do it?
Now, how long have you been in business, Adolfo?
6 years.
6 years you've
Yes,
been in
6 years.
business?
Yes.
And you've owned this property all this time?
Yes.
Okay. Have you only owned it for 6 years, or did you own it before that?
No, about 5 years. 5 years.
You've owned it for 5 years?
Yes.
Okay. How is your business, how does this work? Do you do, you go to homes and do landscaping? Do you do businesses? Do you do?
Yeah, yeah, I use the property to park my trucks, and in the mornings take the trucks and go to the
And most of your clients are businesses?
yeah.
And then you do landscaping on for those commercial developments?
Yes.
And then, so that's during summertime, and then in the
Yes,
wintertime you also?
summertime and wintertime there was no removal stuff.
Okay. And how many days a week do you operate?
6 days.
Okay. And what are your hours of operation?
I start 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m. now, and I end around 7:30, 8 p.m.
Okay. How many employees?
16.
16?
Yeah.
Can you let them know that they're, we went through this with the staff committee, so, but these people aren't the staff committee, so we have to tell them the same information that we told them before. So when you operate your business, you don't have 16 employees sitting there and working extra.
Exactly. They only get in there in the morning
Mm-hmm.
and just take the trucks and go to work to the properties outside of there.
Okay, so you have 16 trucks on the property?
No, yeah, 60 trucks in the property.
Okay, and then the employees come, they park their cars there, and
Yeah.
they take the trucks for the day and then come back?
Exactly, and they come back
They
without.
get in their cars, okay. And do you store materials on the property
Yes, salt and some mulch.
and some mulch?
Yeah.
Okay. And about the, like, do you do plantings, like trees, bushes?
Yes, but I never storage there.
That's not
No,
on
I
the
just go to the nurseries and pick up the plants. Sometimes when I have big jobs, I storage there for 2 or 3 days the plants, but
Okay.
about 2 or 3 days.
Okay, so this is more or less a place for the employees to come, pick up their equipment, and
Exactly.
do their day's work? Okay, so it's kind of a staging area then?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I understand.
And the
Okay.
use of the building,
Yes, I use the building.
and what do you do inside the building?
I have my some equipment and the salt storage there in the building.
Okay.
But mostly I have my mowers and skid steers.
Can you kind of, do we have the site plan?
Oh, no, I can, hang on, let me add that.
You'll get it there.
I forgot to add it to the slide. Give me a few seconds to add that in.
Okay. All right, I'll just have you go through the site plan and tell us what is where and how it's used, okay?
Well,
Okay.
maybe we'll take the lead on that.
Somebody can, yes. Here it is.
Go.
Got some white, some blue, but ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of hard to,
So there's,
There you go.
oh,
the property has been in more or less this configuration for a fairly long time, 20-some years. In fact, I had another client that actually, there's a well, let's just review what it is. Towards the street, there are 2 buildings. On the west, there is an apartment building, and on the east, there is a residence, just a single-family residence. And those will remain. Those are not part of the landscaping business.
okay.
And so,
But they are owned by Mr.
they
Mercado.
are owned by Mr. Mercado.
Okay.
That's correct. The landscaping business operates out of the main barn. That's the larger building that's to the south. And the ingress and egress off of the street has been in this configuration for many years, prior to, for a long time. We are planning on expanding on that area. And the expansion is primarily to the west. You can see the parking areas to the west. And then there's the landscape mulch area to the south. And there's some storage on to the south of, and slightly to the east of the barn. We are also proposing, we have a salt storage facility, and we're going to be, that's part of it's inside the barn to make sure that it doesn't get too wet. But then there's also some single pallets of bags of salt storage on the northeastern portion of the barn. And so
All inside.
the pallets are on the outside. The loose salt is on the inside.
But they're bagged.
Yeah, the pallets are bagged, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, they're covered. And so they use those basically whenever they go and do small jobs, I guess, for sidewalks and things like
Yeah,
that.
outside, okay.
And so the inside storage for the salt is for parking lots and things like that.
What's the maximum amount of salt that you have at any one time?
I believe it's 250,000 pounds. 200, sorry.
¿Qué es lo máximo que tienes en
It's not, it's an, I'm sorry, I don't recall
I
exactly.
think it's
But it's in our,
bigger than that.
Is it in your application?
it's in the application.
20 tons?
20 tons?
Okay, so, moving on. Salt in the
So-
barn.
And so what we've done is, we've come, it turns out that we have to have a certain setback to wells and things. So we are adjusting the site plan. We're relocating the well to make sure that we meet health department requirements. We met with Patty Noe to review this and make sure that it meets all the appropriate requirements for the health department.
Okay.
And so we did that prior to finalizing the site plan. So we will be moving forward and we'll meet all the requirements for that. He also does some maintenance for his smaller equipment, not truck maintenance, but snow blowers and lawn mowers and things like that are maintained inside the barn. The requirement from the health department is that we have to have a floor drain in there, and that will be installed. And we will be getting a temporary, or not temporary, a storage facility for the cleaning of that. So that will be shipped off. So we're getting a.
So that's not going to be on site?
That will, it will not be, it will be, the storage facility will be on site, the storage tank is on site, but then.
Oh, the storage tank, okay.
But that's going to be.
It doesn't bleed into a septic field. It is
No, no,
going
no,
to be
no.
pumped and.
We're not going to be
taken
allowed,
to
yeah, you're not allowed.
A
to do
treatment
that.
facility, yes.
Right.
So we're going to take the storage tank, it's going to be pumped up, taken off-site.
Okay.
The health department or the building department indicated that we had placed a new bathroom inside the building, and we will be doing that as well as putting a septic system to enable that as well.
Is there a bathroom in there now?
No, there's not.
Okay.
It's really not, he's indicated there's not really a need for it because
They come
the
in.
staff comes in and goes off, and in general, whenever they are using the facilities during the day, it's during the day, and it's probably a Starbucks or a Burger King or someplace. They
Okay.
don't hold it all the way to the end of the day, and there are no shower facilities inside the barn.
So it's difficult to see from here, but where are you planning on storing the trucks?
The trucks are stored outside.
Outside where? Show me on the map if you can.
Adolfo, where do you plan on storing the trucks?
Okay, the truck's parked behind the.
You know what, you could
building.
stand up and walk over there and point it out for us. Thank you.
Yeah, all the trucks are always parking here.
Okay, so they're really kind of behind the
Yeah, I come in my
barn.
driveway, driving and park the trucks here.
Okay,
Only some of my personal trucks are parked there in front of the house.
That's
okay,
when, in the morning, when they're loading and things like that.
okay, all right, great, thank you. So, anything else
Um,
to tell us?
Well, if you can see, this is kind of a rough drawing. I apologize for it, but we wanted to make sure that we indicated the screening that was required. And there's existing screening. And if you take those, can we show those photos that you had that you'd done on June 9th? You can see the site. Mr. Mercado keeps the site, very well maintained. It looks good, but it's also screened from the street, just with the existing landscaping. And it was also discussed with staff that if we had far enough distance between from the landscaping business to adjacent farmsteads, then we would not need to place physical screening along the south, east, and west. And you can see that the closest buildings are roughly 1,000 feet and more on the southeast and west from this facility.
That's actually looking to the south, not the north.
Yes.
You're right.
The photo,
Yes.
yes.
You're right.
Yeah, the photo.
You are correct.
So anyways, I think, are there any other, pretty much wraps it up. One of the things I do want to point out is we have discussed this site with the stormwater department as well, and this is more or less how we're planning on doing it. This is it's a sketch that shows us how it's going to be done. It's not a final engineering plan, but they were comfortable enough that with our plan that they felt that this would be something that would be easily done.
Okay.
There's no really, we're not doing a lot of stretching on the site when it comes to engineering.
Okay, so for the landscaping business itself, are there materials brought back to the site, material like tree limbs or
No,
dead bushes, whatever?
no.
No,
Only
nothing
back
is-
there in my trucks, and the next day go to another places to dump.
Okay, so it never comes to the site, it's always
No.
taken somewhere else?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with our questions, aside from mine. And we'll start with.
Thank you. I'm Tom. Archie, do you have any new buildings proposed for the site if you get the conditional use?
No.
No expansion, no new sheds, garages?
No.
We are showing a shed on the south. Is that an existing shed?
It's really old. Was there when I bought the property?
Okay.
That was my only question. And I have a comment. Your security system is real lax, because there was some weird guy driving around your yard an hour ago, shooting all kinds of pictures. And no one came out and asked me what I was doing.
Okay. How weird are you?
Huh?
How
he is
weird are
weird.
you?
Certifiable.
All right.
I liked what I saw.
Okay. we'll
I
hold
really,
the comments
I
till
really
later.
do.
Okay, go ahead, Kurt.
But I needed to see it for myself so I could make an educated judgment here, and I don't see anything wrong.
Okay, Mr. Schnabel, any questions?
Yeah. Regarding your mulch, it looks like it's colored brown. Is that something you purchased from a vendor off-site and have delivered?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to verify for everyone, because some of these conditional uses tend to be more like a tree trimming outfit, and then we get involved in chipper shredders. Does your company own any chipper shredders?
No.
Let's just make sure you don't create your own mulch.
No.
It's all purchased,
No,
and this is a mulch storage area.
Okay, that's great. That's all that I had at the moment. Thank you.
Now, both of the residences on the property are, they're both occupied, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And one of them is an apartment building with how many apartments?
5.
5, and they're all occupied?
Yes.
Okay, and the single-family home, that's occupied as well?
I only live there
Oh, you live
sometimes. I live there, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I have 2 houses, and I live there some, how to explain you? I stay there all until the afternoon, and around 8, 9 p.m. I go to the other house.
Okay.
Sometimes stay there, but yes,
Okay.
I because the house is great for me.
Okay, so it's basically not open,
No,
okay. All right, I think that's all I have.
Where do you manage the business from? Do you have an office?
I don't have office. My office is my phone.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there isn't an office.
yeah. Only my phone is my office.
And your customers don't come to your site?
No.
You entirely go to them. Now, you said that you don't produce any mulch on the site. Do you produce any firewood on the site?
No.
How many trucks do you own as part of the business?
It's like part of the business and like 12, 13.
And what size trucks are they?
That's
Maybe Mr. Jers has a photo, I don't know.
the most bigger
got pictures
that I
of
have is 26,000 pounds. The more bigger that I have.
How many wheels?
Just
2 in the back, or
Two.
they're double in the back?
dolly, yeah, dolly.
So they're dualies in the back, so there's
Yeah.
not like a semi or
No.
anything like that?
Are these like pickup trucks?
Yeah,
Big pickups?
most are pickup
Like a
trucks.
dump
Only
truck?
one are dump truck. It's big.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, the biggest one is a dump truck,
Yeah.
and you just have one of those.
Yeah. Yes,
And-
about 6, 7 ton.
And what do you use that for?
To carry my mulch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so whenever you go and get your mulch?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's to retrieve,
Mhm.
your mulch and bring it back to the site?
And do you store any equipment other than trucks outside?
Sometimes when I use the skid steers to move something around, I let the skid steer outside. For
And
example,
how many trailers do you have?
trailers, like 8
And are they stored outside or inside?
outside.
Outside. But the lawnmowers and skid steers and other equipment is all stored inside?
Inside.
Okay. How much mulch do you have at the most?
Sometimes around 100 yards,
100 yards?
80 yards, yeah, but most of the time just go to the Hebron Road because where I bought my mulch, Hebron
Yeah.
Road, and I storage my mulch there for 2-3 days because I need to take every day. For example, now I have around 7 yards. This is what I have now.
Okay. The tenants in the apartment building, are they employees of yours, or are they
No.
just third-party
No, yes,
tenants?
just rent the house, the apartments.
What size apartments are there in that?
They,
1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom?
there's 2 bedrooms and 3 1-bedroom.
Okay, thank you.
Those apartments have been there for a long time, actually. Turns out one of my very good clients, whenever he was first married, 20-some years ago, that was his newlywed apartment. So it's been around for a while. Apparently they're very well maintained.
And this, I guess, goes to Mr. Caldwell. You indicate that you are moving the well for the apartment building.
We're just making sure that all the wells within that circled area there are no wells within that area, because that's against county code.
And at the present time, the septic field for the apartment building is working all right?
We have not heard anything to the contrary.
Okay, so
I have not done an
you're
inspection.
just designating a replacement area for sometime in the future?
That's because that's a requirement of the health department.
Yes.
It's a commercial building, and so every commercial building has to have a
Existing and a replacement.
That is correct.
And likewise, the well and septic for the house are
The house-
meeting current
Yes.
current standards.
The house is in the current standards, the house is a single-family dwelling, so it does not need to have a replacement.
Yes.
But the septic for the barn will be a replacement area.
The bathroom in the barn, will they go into your holding tank or do you have a septic
it
field?
goes to the septic field.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not allowed, that's against county regulations to put a.
So you'll have a well and a septic field for that'll service those bathrooms?
Yes, the new well we're proposing to service the existing house and the restrooms in the restroom in the barn. And there will also be a storage tank to store for the floor drain. And then we will also have to have an additional area, a septic and an additional expansion area for the septic, for the bathroom inside.
What sort of maintenance of equipment is done inside the barn?
That's maintaining skid steers and snow blowers and lawnmowers.
What's the floor in the barn? Is it a concrete floor?
If that area is a concrete floor, I believe we're getting a new concrete floor just to make sure that it drains properly.
With a floor drain?
With a floor drain.
Okay, that are all my questions.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Mr. Smolinski?
Yes, the area for the employee parking, what's the composition of that ground there?
It's, I believe, it's going to be asphalt or gravel?
Yes, gravel.
It's gravel.
It's gonna be gravel?
Yes.
Okay. And the parking slots themselves, how would they be marked in a gravel park?
They won't be marked.
They won't?
The county doesn't require us to mark them. We just have to make sure.
You
that
just show that on the
we
site.
have, we have to demonstrate that we have enough parking spaces.
Right, okay. The outside salt storage area, how big of an area is that?
To be honest with you, I would have to scale it off and see.
Well, I think it's around 10 by 10, so it's 4 pallets.
10 by 10?
Looks like it's bigger than 10 by 10, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. But to be honest with you, I don't know the exact square footage. But we do know that it will have less than 20,000.
Is it completely open or is it roofed?
That's not roofed, no. And
Would you consider roofing it to keep the rain off of it even though there's bags?
we would prefer not to, but it's
Okay,
it's additional expense to roof it.
exactly, but if I don't allow to have the salt outside, I can put the bags inside too.
I was just gonna suggest that if that's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, I have a space.
This is, okay, well, although it's not a county requirement that it be.
Well, I know it's not a county requirement. I'm just asking. And the reason I'm asking is it's possible for those bags at some point to break open and rainfall could cause the salt to disperse. That's the only reason I asked
Okay.
that.
Well,
No, I always take care of my salt because it's expensive, I don't need the salt.
right. Okay, well,
That's all the questions I have.
Thank you, Mr. Smolinski. Mr. Cozen?
thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just returning back to that salt storage, and most of my questions are focused on the letter from CE from February 27th, just in terms of your own reference. It does mention the 20,000 pounds. Does the, and the height of any storage bins is 6 feet. The chairman once said that we don't do the math, but coverage could possibly include canvas or some other material without hauling the bags. Is that a?
I think that's a tarp. Would you mind putting a tarp over the salt? I think that's a reasonable approach.
In terms of the .8 on that, it says that a 200-foot circular setback is to be implemented. Is there any, how many wells exist on the site, and are any within that 200-foot
Yes.
area?
That's why we're removing them. I believe we're calling that out on our site plan. There are two wells now.
And
Are
how,
you removing both of them or just the one? It's on our site plan. It's awfully small here. We got this one here that's to be relocated.
is there a way that you can utilize the map?
Yeah, we're going to relocate the one for the apartment building, yeah. So there's two wells, one serving the residents and one serving the apartment building. Both of those will be relocated, well, closed up, and then we'll drill new wells
So it'd be,
outside of the 200 square feet.
will be outside, and then, and that will not create a conflict with the septic field, either the future one
No,
that will be designed for the apartment building?
No.
Nor the new one for the barn?
no, there's plenty of space on the site to do that. We've already done that.
Nor will there be a conflict with the detention area?
No.
And the detention area will not be within the 200 feet as well?
The detention area will be within 200 feet. I don't believe that is an issue with the health department. We'll double check that. If it is, then we should move it, but I don't.
And the bypass runoff ditch that's going to be designed?
Yeah,
There's a bypass swale that will be constructed on the site?
that's correct.
Will that be within the 200 feet as well?
No.
Are you aware of the,
The detention basin is not a permanent water body, so that's why it's not required to be outside of that.
have you been in receipt of a photo that the ZBA received of the dumpster that's at the driveway?
I just found out about it this morning.
Right. Is the dumpster service an on-call, or is it on a schedule
They go every Wednesday,
Every
it's on a
Wednesday.
schedule.
on Wednesday?
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
when the picture was taken.
Right. And
And that dumpster doesn't sit in the front the whole time, does it?
Yes, it always been there in the front.
Yeah, but we bought the property, the dumpsters was there.
For,
Yeah, but it's
for every day?
Yes,
right.
Okay.
but
Yeah,
if there's a problem, we can move it on to the back.
And to that concrete patio that's to the south of the apartment area? Your site plan shows a concrete patio area?
I don't think we would put the dumpster on that, but
If the occupants of the apartment need to have access to the
that's
dumpster.
true. I understand, correct. So,
Yeah, we can move it if we need to.
Well, it's
It's marked there?
visually shown overflown and
Yes, like I said, I mean, I think, like in my house, all the time is they come on Tuesday, so every day I take a lot of garbage to put it on the dumpster so they can take it. So that's what they did over there.
right,
It's a Wednesday, they take all the garbage, put it there so they can take it.
right.
In other words, it has to be there one day a week.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's nothing that would preclude the truck to go up the service driveway, since you have two curb cuts off of State Line Road, and then return back to State Line Road.
I was wondering, can you move the dumpster and then have them come on site?
Yes.
We can certainly show a spot on here.
Yeah, in
for-
fact,
for
in
the
fact, I
dumpster.
have another dumpster behind for my business.
So the residential one could be,
Yeah, and I can move the other from the 5 units, I can move behind to the residents. Can have access to the dumpsters.
it would appear as an aside that in 2019, Google Map caught somebody else's garbage at that location that missed the dumpster and was laying on the side of the road in that location, just as a
Okay.
point of reference. I have no further questions, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So in your application for this petition,
Questions from the audience?
oh, no, questions from staff.
Okay, I have no questions.
Okay, but I want to go over the standards first.
Okay.
Okay, so in your application, you responded to the UDO standards for conditional use. We can take these answers as evidence, right? Do we have to repeat everything? We don't have to.
No, you do not have to repeat everything. If the board and the petitioner agree to take the written testimony, you can certainly do that.
Okay,
I have one further question that I didn't ask.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
You got some good lettering on your trucks. It says who you are. Do you intend to put a sign in front of the property for your landscape business?
Yes.
So you'll go to the county and get a permit and have a proper sign.
Okay.
Will the sign be illuminated or just a sign?
Yes, I
No
would
lights on it, or
Yeah, I
just
would like to put some
lights too?
solar lights.
Well, whatever the county staff wants, they have a sign ordinance. They're real proud of it. So if you do it to make them happy, then you're doing it right.
Also, Adolfo, are you planning on, when you say illuminated, are you going to shine a light on it, or will the light,
No, some, how to say, solar light.
so you're going to shine the light so you can
Yes.
see it? You're not going to have
No.
the letters light up?
But they're real proud of their sign ordinance, so you gotta go to them and get one. Okay, that's my only other question.
Okay, so I'm going to take a consensus vote from the board to include the written standards for conditional uses.
I would certainly approve of that.
Okay,
I'll second that.
Don?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, okay, we're good. All right, so we have your standards that you responded to.
Thank you.
And we now have actually two people in the audience, and it's time for you, one at a time, to find a microphone. Stand up and come to the, at least come to the table up here if you can.
Well, hopefully my voice is heard adequately, where I don't have to use this. Is that
Yes, you do
okay?
I'm deaf and I
need
can
to
still
please
hear
come
you.
over here. Sir,
So
sir,
that's-
please come over there
Oh,
where the
sure.
stand is, and we need your name and your address, and please speak into the microphone, because the recorder may not pick it
Yeah.
up adequately.
And this is the time to ask questions of the petitioner, not make a
This is
comment.
only for questions.
Okay.
You'll
I don't know how
you'll
that
have time
works.
for comments after we're done.
My name is John Radua. I live at 19711 State Line Road. And I've lived there for 27 years. I've got a list of questions here to the petitioner and also to the staff and you guys. When you purchased the property, did you intend on building a business there?
Yeah.
But, okay. But you do not have conditional use for that property?
Okay, for the reason that I never did, because I don't know that I have to do that. I really don't know that I have to.
The answer is, right now, he did not. That's correct.
So you're aware then, even through the engineer's report and the staff report, that you are operating illegally?
They have been given a violation, so they are aware.
Okay. How will you guys address the garbage? Because as noted, my neighbor and I, we pick up your garbage all the time. It blows in the fields. The farmers plow it into the fields. And
What
it's-
kind of garbage?
Pardon me?
What kind of garbage?
Oh, from the dumpster. There's plastic.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's from the 5 units, but don't have to be nothing with my business.
Right.
I can take care of that because it's my property too, but I think it's from the people that live in the house, in the 5
Very,
units house.
very good.
But I can, like I told them, I can move the dumpsters back and I can take care of the dumpster.
Thank you. That's a big concern of mine and my neighbors. Will you continue to burn the refuge?
No,
But you have burned large piles of brush.
I
in the
had
past.
before when I don't know the rules. Is why we are here now,
Okay.
because I want to try to take to do the right thing.
Very good. Do you have a containment system for your hazardous waste? Your diesel fuel, your gasoline?
I always take, but how to say? I never have that much in my property. For the small mowers, I have a container, and I take to advance our parts to recycle.
You're talking about a gas can?
Pardon me?
Are you talking about a gas can, Adolfo? You
Yeah.
mean a gas can, a
Yeah.
small gas can?
Yeah,
Do you have a tank of diesel fuel on your site?
no, I don't
Okay.
have.
But do you have a containment system for mixing your chemicals?
I don't mix any chemical there.
So you don't store any fertilizer,
No.
any lawn care?
No, I subcontract touring to do the land drainage.
Very good. After reading the engineer's report and the recommendations from him as well as what the county is requesting, to me, and it seems like there's a lot of work that needs to be done to comply. Are you financially set to do all of this? And when will all this be done? Because if you're operating illegally and cited, things are continuing. So I guess the question is, will you be able to do everything that you want to do? I hope you can.
Of course, that I can.
Are you aware of the sensitive area that you're on for the aquifer? This is a part of the Kishwaukee Valley, very sensitive area. This is where I get my drinking water, is on your property.
Okay, that's your time, sir. Let him answer that, and that's your last question.
We're limited?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay. Will there be follow-up?
You'll have time for comments after this.
Oh, thank you.
And I will let you know what that is, okay?
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
My name is Jeff Recknagel.
Please talk into the microphone.
I live at W5978 State Line Road, which is the residence directly north of the place that's requesting the CUP. Thank you. I think my questions have already been asked and answered, but I just want to ask them again anyway. I just wanted to know, where is your dumpsters going to be located?
My dumpsters, well, the 5 units dumpster.
For everything?
Okay, I have one dumpster for my business's back side of the building. And the front side, it's only for the 5 units apartment.
Okay. And are you going to continue to do burns?
I don't burn from almost 2 years, but I know that I don't have to do that.
Okay.
That's why I remove all the branches that I have there.
Okay. The school buses that come into your property, are they, is this going to prohibit, I'm just curious, is this going to prohibit them from having access to coming in and out of your business?
They go over there, but I'm not agree with that, but I don't have a reason why don't let that right there if it's easy for them.
Okay.
But I don't like they be there because sometimes they're mad with me because I park in my driveway, but I don't will tell them don't try in my driveway. It's easy for them to pick up the kids.
They're using your driveway to turn
Yeah.
around school buses?
Yeah.
Have they asked your permission to do
No.
that?
They need to do that.
Yeah, but I don't did. Sometimes you can see when they drive fast, I always try to fix my driveway, but I don't like to complain much about that,
Well, yeah, but you shouldn't be taken advantage of.
but,
Right, that's
but they
something
cause
that-
a lot of damage in my driveway because they drive fast. I drive my trucks heavy and I never do that,
Are they peeing?
damage.
Are they
Wait,
peeing?
excuse me, he's got the question
Okay, I'm
typed right
sorry.
now.
That's all that I have, folks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, Anna, can you give us your staff reports?
Always fun with musical microphones. Okay, so the subject property is currently zoned A1. It has been operating with a agricultural, or excuse me, with a landscape business with outdoor storage for a number of years now, as Ms. Gardner did note. They were cited and they have come in to get the conditional use so that they can comply with our requirements for that. The area is predominantly an agricultural area. There are farm fields and there are barns and homesteads in the area. Our future land use map does show this area as developing agriculturally. Landscape businesses are considered a landscape or an agricultural business, and therefore would meet the requirements both for our current zoning code and for the future land use for the landscape business. It's the outdoor storage that trips it into the conditional use requirement. With the conditions that we have proposed, staff has no significant concerns with this proposal.
Okay, thank you. So, with the conditions,
We accept it. We don't have a problem with those conditions.
okay, we still have to go through them and vote on them.
Okay.
Before you vote on them, you need to afford the public comment time. They asked a
Before the
question.
conditions?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
because that's part of your voting meeting.
Okay. Okay, now is your chance for comments. Again, you'll be limited to 3 minutes. So if you have a comment, please come up, state your name and your address again, and give us your 3 minutes worth.
So you were joking about the 35-minute?
I really was kidding about it, yeah. It's not, no, it's
Okay.
3 minutes. It's written in stone here, so.
My name is John Radua. I live at 19711 State Line Road. And I'm very grateful that I can give some comments today. Like I said, I've been living there 27 years. And this property in question has always been residential. I knew the previous owners, the Browns, they lived there for a long time. In the staff report, there's 2 things. Agriculture, landscaping that's agriculture. I don't know how that works. If it's a tree farm, I understand, but somehow you're saying landscaping is agriculture. I'm really concerned about my property values. There's no conditional use in my area. We're homesteads. We're homes. There's ag land. Farmers come in, do their thing, they're gone. We don't have a lot of problems. I appreciate you're going to take care of the garbage, and I really appreciate that you're going to stop burning, because
I stopped doing that almost 2 years ago when they told me that's no legal to do that.
okay.
And you know that because you don't see anymore.
Well, I don't know if the wind's not blowing the right way or what. I mean, I want to be a good neighbor, and I guess I want everybody to be good neighbors. But the question of the conditional use and my taxes and my property value, I'm very afraid that this could impact my home value. Now, there is a business on my road. And the stipulation or the statement in the staff report that this could possibly or will reduce my property taxes because it's a commercial building. I mean, I don't see this as the redevelopment of the Motorola building, for sure. That's going to help the tax base, but I don't see how that correlates to my taxes. I see my taxes going down because my value is going to go down because now I'm on a road with conditional use. Therefore, people are going to look the other way if I have to sell. I don't want to begrudge anybody their right to work or have a business. But when it affects my property values, that's why I moved up there. It's quiet. There's nothing that's going to impede my value, but now there will be.
Well, there you have another business, Bigfoot excavated.
They're out of business. They sold.
But there's
No
Hey,
conversations,
yeah,
please.
not conversations.
Thank you.
For him to
Thank you
make
very
statements.
much. And there was something in the staff report about Wild Rose Farm being similar. Never heard of Wild Rose Farm. Never heard of it.
Okay, that's time, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I wish I had more time.
I would encourage you to speak with Mr. Mercado personally.
I beg your pardon?
I would encourage you to speak to Mr. Mercado personally after this.
Thank you. Hopefully we can.
My name is Jeff Recknagel. My last name is spelled Recknagel. I live at W5978 State Line Road in Walworth County on the Wisconsin side. The April 12, 2023 Standards for Conditional Use report that was completed by Mr. Caldwell. In statement number 2, I just want to say that there's an error. It says the property adjacent to the north has an agricultural business with a storage and parking. As far as I know, I'm the only person that's north of there. It's a residence. We do have a barn. We don't have any animals. It's just for our pleasure. There's a 30 by 60 pole shed that I just store my vehicles in.
Is it zoned agriculture?
It's both.
Okay, just go ahead with your statement, sir.
Okay. The thing that I was concerned about is just the burning. I'm also concerned about the amount of garbage that I have to pick out of my yard, especially if there's a south wind. The kind of garbage is both stuff that comes off that dumpster, which I think you've seen a picture of, and I also get plastic bags of rock salt that's used for salting during the wintertime.
You get the bags of salt, or you just get the bags?
The empty bags.
The empty bag, okay.
He keeps his yard immaculate. He's been a very good neighbor of mine. He came over to my house, helped me with my driveway once. And the only other thing is just the smoke from the burning. I'm glad to hear that he's not going to be doing any more burning. And if we can work together to keep the garbage out of my yard, that'd be great.
Can I answer a question for him or no?
Not right now.
No, we don't.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm looking for the conditions and I can't find them for some reason. Are they? Let's see. Yes.
So are you going to close the public?
I will. Yeah, I just wanted to find these conditions first. Okay, so that's.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
You got another question?
Oh, well, can we just resume a slight line on that school bus, on whether or not the school bus goes through the property, just to...
I don't think
clarify?
that's actually part of the testimony, so we can talk about that afterwards.
All right. Thank you.
But yeah, I think that is an issue. I agree with you.
They have a right to 7 and we only have 6.
Right, thank you. Normally, we're a board of 7. In order for this, if we approve this this conditional use, it will go to the county board for their approval, their final approval. You do need 5 votes yes in order for that to go through. There's only 6 of us here today. We're done. Where was I? Oh, there's only 6 of us here. You have the right to ask for a continuance until we have 7 board members available for you, or we can continue on today with the vote. It is up to you.
So it's not a majority, it's a 5.
You have to have
You have
5
to have
affirmative
5
votes
yes,
for
5
an
affirmative.
affirmative recommendation.
Yes. If it's like 3 and 3, then the county board has to basically do the hearing all over again.
Okay.
Even 4 to 3, 4 to 2 in your favor is a no recommendation.
Right.
Okay, so they,
So that's not like saying yes, it's not like saying no, it's like saying it's up to you, to the county board. Okay.
well, you could ask these guys if they, for an informal, I don't know if that'd be allowed. You can ask them for an informal.
No.
No, we cannot do that.
Okay. Okay, it's up to you. If you want to, I would say just move forward and see, because you're not going to find out unless you do it.
Yeah, we will continue.
You're gonna go ahead? Okay. And then, did I close the hearing? Not yet?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I don't do this often. Okay, so the hearing, the testimony portion of the hearing is now closed, and we will open the voting portion of the meeting, and we will go through the conditions that were suggested by staff, first of all, and vote on those. So, number 1, storage areas shall be restricted to those areas so designated on the site plan. 2, all landscape business vehicles and equipment shall be stored entirely within an enclosed structure or in a permitted exterior storage area. 3, preparation, assembly, and processing of materials shall occur wholly indoors or within the permitted exterior storage area only. 4, storage shall be limited to vehicles, equipment, and materials owned or leased by the property owner or tenant. 5, all vehicles stored on site must have current plate registration. Yes.
Those are the standards.
Those are
not-
the standards.
Oh.
Conditions.
So, where we been? Oh,
Okay, there you go.
okay.
There we go.
I thought that sounded strange. Okay. Number 1, the conditional use shall expire 10 years from the date of approval by the McHenry County Board.
That works.
Number 2, the conditional use shall substantially conform to the site plan prepared by Caldwell Engineering Limited, dated April 4th, 2023, and handwritten label, conditional use request zoning number 22-035, screening exhibit. Number 3, the property owner shall apply for a stormwater management permit within 4 months of approval by the county board of this conditional use permit. Number 4, the property owner shall submit an application for a building permit for the mulch bin within 45 days of approval of this conditional use permit by the county board. Number 5, the maximum height of bins and the materials contained within them shall not exceed 6 feet in height. Number 6, any storage of de-icing agents shall conform to the standards of section 16.56.050.e of the McHenry County Unified Development Code. Number 7, all other federal, state, and local laws shall be met. Are there any other conditions that we should consider?
Mr. Coast.
Mr. Cozen?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'd like consideration to the Caldwell letter of February 27th, items 2, 3, and 4, as appended to point 2 of the staff assessment. These went to the installation of the new septic field, the design of the replacement, the detention area, and the runoff bypass.
I'm sorry, which numbers were that, 2, 3, and 4?
Yes, this was from the letter of February 27th, items 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
to be incorporated into the condition number 2.
I'll second that.
Okay. I think we should probably read those conditions into the record if you don't mind, Mr. Cozen.
I will do my best. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Barn and apartment septic field. Required by the county, a new septic system will be designed to meet loading requirements of 2 new restrooms within the barn. The water well septic and system to serve the barn will fully comply with all public health ordinance requirements. A fully sized future septic system replacement area will be provided for the apartment building. Item 3, detention area. Detention will be provided in the shown area and sized by the county ordinance for increased impervious added after 2005 and the newly proposed impervious areas shown in the site plan. Construction documents and calculations of this detention facility will be provided during stormwater detention process. Item 4, runoff bypass. A bypass swale will be constructed south of the detention area to bypass undisturbed and off-site tributary area around the proposed detention basin.
Thank you. Okay, we've had a motion and a second. I should probably call the roll on this.
Discussion. Discussion on the amendment?
Okay, is there any discussion? Mr. Cozen?
Okay. Thank you. The applicant's document references that they will be doing this, and the applicant's engineer record of the site plan, and I believe this goes as a committed narrative to the site plan, which is already a condition recommended by this body.
Okay. Mr. Zelinski?
I have no comment on the amendment.
Mr. Eldridge?
I have no further comment.
Mr. Schnabel?
No comment.
Mr. Jers?
Okay.
Okay, and I have no comment either, other than I think maybe it's a good idea that this is specified in the record. Okay. Yes, it is redundant, but it's good that it's right there for people to see. Okay. Take the vote now. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
There is no harm in this, so I will vote yes.
Mr. Smolinski?
Yes.
Mr. Jers?
Yes.
And I will vote yes as well. So that motion passes and that will be added to their condition. Are there any other conditions suggested?
I move adoption of the conditions as amended.
Okay, I think I had a condition.
No.
Can't remember.
I'll return the favor to my colleague and second his motion.
Wait. Okay. I don't know that we can condition this, but can we make a condition to move the dumpster from its current location out in front to somewhere near that building that it's collecting for?
Anna Kurtzman, yes, you can make a recommendation, you can add a condition that will place the existing dumpster enclosure to a location. I would recommend a generalized location. I believe the Mercados were suggesting 2 locations, if I understood correctly. One is next to the apartment and one is next to the barn, correct?
Okay. What I use for my business is behind of the bar.
Okay,
And the other one's in the front in the main entrance, is what the neighbors don't like there. This is in the entrance.
okay.
But I can move, I could show you over there. Okay, the dumpsters is at the main entrance there, by the road.
Right.
But I can move then the resident need to wash over there. And I can put the dumpsters about here.
Okay, so Mr. Mercado is showing that the proposed location for the dumpster would be south of the existing apartment building,
Near the parking
Adjacent to
area.
the employee parking.
Right.
adjacent to the employee parking area.
Okay.
So a recommended condition could be to have the existing dumpster moved so that it's located between the apartment building and the location of the employee parking area.
Okay, so that is my motion.
Make sure you say the residential dumpster.
The residential
Yes.
dumpster.
The
Yes.
residential dumpster is what we're speaking about here. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. And it's understood that this once a week may have to be moved out to the street to be collected. I'm not sure what your contract is with the garbage collection, but they may not want to pull into your property.
They did for the other dumpsters behind of the
they
bar.
do.
That
Okay.
They can do it. Without-
I
And
just
never
have to
mind
call.
what I said.
Never mind.
Okay, so the condition is that the dumpster, the residential dumpster for the apartment building will be moved to the, near the the employee parking area in back of the building. And that's the motion, and there's a second.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
Yes,
Okay.
I would encourage that the dumpster be appropriately sized or more frequent pickup. The issue is always the overflowing of that dumpster. Even if you move it, it still could be subject to wind blowing garbage out. So the problem is the overloading of that dumpster. So I would suggest that you may need to get it resized, get a bigger one, or have it pick up more frequently than once a week for that residential dumpster.
Okay. I don't think we're gonna attach that part to the condition. Any other comments? Okay, all right. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Smolinski?
Yes.
Mr. Jers?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel, I
Yes.
missed you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I will vote yes on that. And that will be condition number 10.
And now I will move adoption of the conditions.
Okay.
So, as amended.
We're good? We're good? Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So, let's see. You made the motion. And who seconded?
I
Mr.
did.
Cozen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
I've been there for weddings.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Mr. Smolinski?
Yes.
Mr. Jers?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. So this will go, this is, conditional use is attached to this. This is the conditions attached to this conditional use.
Yep.
This thing always confuses
I
me.
now move approval of the petition subject to the conditions.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
That was Mr. Cozen?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Sorry.
I couldn't tell, I'm sorry. Okay, discussion, Mr. Eldridge, yes.
Yes, well, this petition wouldn't be before us if it was simply to operate the landscaping business. It's before us because of the outdoor storage of equipment. Given the size of the parcel, the amount of equipment is not a very dense use of this nearly 10-acre parcel. Under our regulations, we like having landscape businesses, we like having them out in the country. If this is properly maintained and I've heard nothing to say that the business itself isn't properly maintained. This should have virtually no impact on the neighbors. The impact on the neighbors that has been spoken of largely is a result of inadequate management of garbage at this apartment building. And that really isn't before us in our petition today. I think as being good neighbors, Mr. Spolensky made an excellent suggestion that perhaps it's time to get a somewhat larger garbage container or call for more frequent pickups. I think probably the larger container would be the less expensive approach. But that really has nothing to do with the operation of this business. We often hear complaints with this type of business of the traffic generated, of the size of the trucks being used, of the noise being generated. We've heard none of that, and I think that's largely because the parcel is large enough that these things simply don't get off the site very much. I would recommend to petitioner that they work with their neighbors to address their causes. While I do respect the neighbors' concern that this might affect their property values, we've seen a great many of these over the years, and this size business on this size parcel, there simply is no evidence that it affects positively or negatively the property values of the neighbors. And for all of the above, I support the petition.
Thank you, Mr. Eldridge. Mr. Cozen?
As one who seems to spend too much time on Google Maps and so forth, it is highly notable from the history of the maps when the applicant took over possession and control of this property, because the quality of the landscaping and the care of the frontage of the property, most notable to residents of 2 states, has improved greatly. If there is any blemish in terms of the attractiveness, it is that which we spent admittedly almost too much time, is the location of a dumpster in the entirety of McHenry County. To which I am supporting this because we've given enough guidelines, I believe, to go forward and find another credible and successful business in McHenry County. Thank you.
Mr. Cozen. Mr. Smolinski?
Yes, I agree with the comments of Mr. Eldridge and Mr. Cozen, and I would just like to reiterate the hope that the petitioner will solve the residential dumpster issue.
Thank you, Mr. Smolinski. Mr. Schnabel?
I concur with what's been said, and I'd just like to add that of all of the petitions that we reviewed for landscape contractor type business, this is in fact one of the lower impact versions of it that I've seen. So I wish you luck with that in the future, and I'm going to support your petition.
Thank you, Mr. Schnabel. Mr. Jers?
I thoroughly agree with Charlie. I couldn't have said it any better. I support the petition.
Thank you. And I support it as well. I like the comments that have been made. I also would like to reiterate that it is a very nice looking site. I think that you keep it very well. I, again, would encourage you to get real friendly with your neighbors and, make sure that they're as happy as can be. But this is an ideal place for this business. Apparently it's run well, even though you were doing it without permission. But now you're here, you have to jump through many, many hoops to do this, but congratulations on that. So I'm in favor as well. So I will take the vote now. I'll call for the roll. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes?
Mr. Smolinski,
Yes.
Mr. Jers.
Yes.
And I will vote yes as well. So this will go to the county board with a positive recommendation from us. They have the final say of the vote as well. They do listen to our hearings and to everything that we have to say. So you won't get away with anything. No, I wish you luck. Thank you very much. The hearing is closed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Well, I hope you all have a good 4th of July.
Yeah, I found out that I'm having a party at my house.
What's your address?
Yeah.